Most people think that saving big money means cutting out the things you love or making extreme sacrifices. But what if I told you that I saved 5 million naira in just 1 year while still doing the things that I love? Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Peace, and on this space I share with you everything I'm learning on my journey to $1 million. So if you're interested in that, you might want to join this family for all the good tips on personal finance. So let's get right into it. 2024 alone, I spent nothing less than 10 million naira planning for a trip to Japan. Even when that trip did not end up working because of visa issues, I still ended up going to Dubai. This is to show you that even when I had saved the initial money for Japan trip, for my next trip, aside from that, I still went to Dubai and was still able to save 5 million naira despite doing all the things I love to do, going out, traveling, and doing all the fun stuff. So in this video, I want to break down misconception that you have to be living miserably if you want to build wealth or live your best life. And this I will be doing by sharing with you all the strategies I used to save 5 million naira in just 1 year without having to break a sweat, without having to give up the lifestyle that I love. Because if you see now, I've said it several times on this channel, I love life. I love anything that is going to give me stress. I try to push it away because I want to have that balance between living in the present while still planning for my future. So let's get right into it because I don't want to waste any of the time. I need to give you all the juicy tips on how I was able to do this. Even when they say lifestyle cost, it should not be affecting us in this family. So let's get right into it. So the very first method I use for this is something called reverse budgeting, aka pay yourself first. For every money that comes into my life, I make sure I've made it a habit over the years to try my best to pay myself first before doing any other thing. So there's this quote by Warren Buffett which says, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." This is basically the idea of pay yourself first. Before I start spending any income that comes into my life, I have made it because I've always talked about how I budget on this space, and in my budget, I make sure to have savings as the very first thing on my budget. Because I don't want to say that, before I now start putting money into my savings, I've taken care of every other thing, because you might end up forgetting. And one thing I love to do again is to automate my savings. Another thing is to create accounts for emergency fund, for investment, for all the things that I know that will take care of my future. So I try to have that balance between planning for the future while living in the present. And this idea of paying myself first has really helped me to take care of this, so I don't have to be stressing about money. And I've created different avenues where in every area that I'm earning money, I've created avenues where I can be able to save through these multiple streams of income, so which has made it very easy for me to save. And another method I've tried to, I've been doing over the years is leveraging high yield accounts and, taking investments very seriously. So I'm in my 30s obviously, and in one of my videos, I've talked about how the level at which you can invest and save in your 20s and your 30s is not the same thing as somebody who is in their 40s and 50s. In your 20s and 30s, you can say you are saving aggressively, investing aggressively, but if you are now in your later 40s and 50s, then you have a family to take care of. You might not want to be able to do this at the same rate at which someone in their 20s is able to do it. So I've learned to leverage high yield savings accounts, putting money in treasury bills, which is a safe option for investing, using the savings or target options on all these platforms like Piggyvest, Optimus, Cowrywise. If you're in Nigeria, I feel like these platforms are even available to anybody, so anybody can use it. I've been able to leverage using this platform to create a life of where I'm not stressing about savings. So I've automated my savings in such a way that as I'm getting anything into my account, it is distributing itself to these accounts. So I don't have to bother about saying that, okay, I'm manually putting these things into there, which is where the automating your savings comes into play and makes it very easy for you. And even investing has become a fun journey for me now that I'm able to share what I'm doing along my journey. On my TikTok now, it is booming because I've been sharing everything, and the more I share, I found out that is the more I learn, because I'm always going to do further research. And investing has now become something like a fun game for me, and I'm so lucky I started very early. I wouldn't say I'm now saying I will now be waiting for my later years when I should have done all the investing. Now sharing even the Nigerian stocks. In one of my other videos, you will see my Nigerian stock portfolio that is helping me to grow my money. So all this has become a fun journey for me now that I enjoy doing them while still doing all the things I love to do, planning for trips, going out to restaurants, cafe hopping, all the things I love to do while still doing these things that are set to secure my future. So it has been an interesting ride so far. Increased income instead of just cutting costs. So there's something I've said several times on this space, which is To become rich or to build wealth, you need to learn how to earn more money. You just don't wait for savings. Yes, your savings can take you so far, but if you learn how to make more money, you are more likely to secure the future you hope for yourself. So instead of just focusing on only the savings aspect, I learned to make more money by means of creating multiple streams of income. So it has now made it easy for me to be able to rack up this amount of money that I'm telling you that I saved in 1 year, because when you put all the money from different sources together, all this in savings, you now find that you're able to get that amount that I'm telling you that I was able to save. And these things are quite easy. You don't necessarily need any manual labor or anything to be able to achieve it. Just creating multiple streams of income and now learning more and more. Every day I keep thinking of what do I need to do to help me to create more avenues for making money. Like in my last video, in one of my videos, I said you guys should share options with me. If you know any option of where to invest your money in, let me know, because I'm bound to, as long as I do my research and I know that it's legit, I'm bound to put my money there, because I want to create multiple streams of income. Like over the years, because I've been working for 6 years now, I've been able to create treasury bills in such a way that every single month I have a particular amount coming in, and this is a form of passive income for to buffer whatever I'm earning in salary. Even when this money comes, even though I have to now share it into like different areas of my life, like maybe learning a skill or preparing for an exam that is going to help me to earn more money, I've just learned how to now spread this investment in such a way that every month, even when I'm receiving my salary, I know that I'm getting something extra. So all these are methods that I've been able to use to save up a lot of money over the years. Last year it was just 5 million. Who knows what the last 2 years was like, because I've never saved anything less than 3 million naira in a year, and I've been enjoying it. I've been sharing all these things on my TikTok. I don't know why I'm just bringing it on here now, because there was a time I talked about how every month I remove 100,000 naira from my salary. Whatever it is, I make sure to I've created a habit of always removing 100,000 naira from my salary, and when you now times it by 12, you find that that is already 1.2 million naira. Then from other sources, you now find that the money that I'm talking about, this 5 million naira, it is very easy for me to get it, because I don't only have one stream of income. This one I'm talking about is from my 9 to 5. I have treasury bills, I have investment in my cooperative, investment in a business. I've just shared with you 7 streams of income that I use to make money at age 33. Go and check out that video. Another thing is smart spending on essentials. There's a quote by Will Rogers which says, "Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like." These quotes that I've been sharing with you, they are part of what has shaped my experience around money. So I find people are trying to live up to the hype, especially with TikTok now. Like, this thing is trending, you want to go for it. That thing is trending. This is not to say I've not fallen prey for these things, because sometimes now when I look at my Stanley Cup, I'm like, why did I buy this thing? Why did I buy it? So that experience now makes me to question every single thing I buy. Now I now have to apply the 24-hour rule, 48-hour rule, whichever one I see fit, I apply it, because it will not help me to decide whether do I really need this thing I'm buying, especially if the thing is expensive. And most of the things we tend to buy now are dollar denominated, so if you are not really careful, you might just go and buy something that you might just keep on a shelf and be looking at it. It is not necessarily important in your life, you don't have so much use for it, the amount of times you use it does not measure up to the amount you spent buying this thing. So instead of now buying things that are just there for me to show off to people that I can afford these things, I now started buying things that I need, things that I know that will add value to my life, instead of just for me to buy them for show off. Another thing is buying quality things, not just focusing on quantity. So many times people tend to buy things, maybe let's say now this wristwatch. This wristwatch is a fossil wristwatch. I've been wearing this wristwatch for more than 4 years now. This is the only wristwatch I have that is of maybe designer standard kind of stuff. But why am I telling you this? This wristwatch has lasted me 4 years. If I were to buy any other type of wristwatch, maybe I would have changed wristwatch 100 times now. And at the end of the day, you now find that the amounts you spend focusing on buying quantity instead of quality, if you had gotten the original in the very first place, you would have not spent as much as you had spent buying so many and trying to replace the ones you bought, because you are focusing on quantity rather than quality. So doing this now has made it easier for me to buy things once and for all, instead of buying so many of the same thing in the first place. The fifth is having mindset shift. So I learned to focus on my long-term goal So this now gives me room to be able to work towards this my goal at the pace at which I can do it. Instead of just trying to rush to achieve everything at the same time, then you are focusing on only your future. So you are trying to save as much as you can while neglecting that you have to live and enjoy life, so that when you get old and you are now in this place where the money you have saved is now taking care of you, at least you have memories to back up whatever life you are now living in that your later years. But if you are just focused on saving in your youth, now in your old age you don't have any memories to talk about. Now when I think about, like, even as I'm still young, I just think back to the memories of maybe in Thailand, in PP Island. I remember the breeze, I remember the water hitting my leg. All these things are memories that I will carry to my old age. So I've just learned how to focus on long-term goals rather than living every day trying to achieve these things. This does not necessarily mean that you have to completely give up on whatever goal you must have set for yourself. Just break down these your goals into smaller parts and it will make it easier for you. And in trying to save this amount of money that I'm talking about, I've just learned how to focus on spending money on things that are going to bring value to my life. Value not in terms of maybe like what I'm trying to achieve from it and all that, but just those small things like happiness, ease of living. So instead of spending money on everything and anything because I can afford it, I now focus this money on spending money on things that give value to the life I'm trying to build for myself while still enjoying the life I currently have. So this means that I now have to practice intentional spending, not necessarily spending less but spending better. This is where you now have to be applying the rule, all the types of rules when it comes to intentional spending, because you don't want to spend money on just about anything. So for things that are too expensive, like I said earlier, I have to apply the 24 hours rule, sometimes 48 hours, because I'm trying to think, is this thing really something that I need, or it's just something that I want because I like it and I feel I can afford it? By making these decisions and following these rules, it has made it easier for me to allocate my money to places that are going to give this value I'm talking about to my life. So by doing all these things I've just talked about, I didn't have to suffer to save. Instead, I just made better use of the money I had, made smarter choices, and focused on increasing my earning. So with having multiple streams of income made it easier for me to achieve this goal, making smarter choices in my spending money on things that are going to give value to the life I have now and the life I'm trying to build, instead of just focusing on cutting costs. So all this now means that I'm living the type of life I want to live, saving money without having to sacrifice my lifestyle. So let me know in the comments, what's one money habit that has helped you to save the most? Either last year, this year, whatever, as long as you are doing it or you've done it and it gave you good results, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, because like I said, I would love for us to exchange ideas. Don't allow me to just tell you. Let me know about what's up, so that I too can learn from you guys. If you really enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. While at it, make sure to check out any video you see on the screen, because I know it will definitely help you in your journey to financial freedom, because I am sharing it from experience and I'm loving every bit of it. So guys, I'll see you in my next one. I hope this video was impactful to you, or at least it gave you an idea of where to start if you want to be able to save without sacrificing your lifestyle. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.